Welcome, everybody, to episode 30 of the We Don't Know Jack podcast. It's a big one today. It's a little different landscape, though. Emily's not here. She's not feeling good. She couldn't make it today. Ben is here.
Somehow.
Either a good thing or a bad thing, but Ben is here.
Yeah,
we have a returning guest today, Ben.
Do we now?
Do we?
I don't know who it is.
It's been a while since we've had a returning guest.
They must like us that much.
They must. He must like us. Welcome back, Drew Cusumano.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
What's going on, Drew? How you doing?
I'm good, man. How many two-time guests have you guys had?
Morgan's been on twice. Max has been on twice. And Casey's been on 5 or 6 times.
I consider Casey part of the crew.
Yeah, to an extent.
At one point he was.
At one point he was.
I consider him like, the cousin you see at, some Thanksgivings, but not every Thanksgiving.
The cousin that like gets you hyped when he walks in or something.
Yeah, exactly. He's the residential hype man. Like, he's probably going to be there, but,
Or that uncle that brings the fireworks.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. I was thinking more drunk uncle with fireworks.
Yeah, Casey is the fun drunk uncle. Yeah,
exactly.
That's a great way to describe it. Well, I thought I was starting some incredible, repeat guest thing here because the caliber of guests is really ramping up here on We Don't Know Jack, and I felt like, wow, you got Rizzuto, you got Chip Carey, and then it's like, this dude from Wildwood, welcome back. I'm like, ooh, they must be scraping the bottom of the barrel now,
No, we would never.
No, I'm glad to be back.
Oh, your episode did good.
Really?
Yeah, for our standards, they did good.
Our standards are like very bottom of the barrel too.
Yeah, if we get enough views, I'm happy, which isn't crazy.
When you start the bar low, you can't go anywhere but up,
Sky's the limit.
Yeah.
Right.
I think your buddies might have listened to it or something. Or
it was actually just me on repeat.
It might have been.
Yeah, I was sitting in bed and just listening to it over and over again.
Like, I'm gonna mess with Jack, make a fake Spotify account, download.
I listened to that. So maybe 2 or 3 months ago, probably 2 or 3 months after you were on, it popped up on my YouTube feed. So I watched a little bit of it, and man, I forgot how funny Casey was in that episode.
In my first episode?
Yeah, because we talked about socks for a while.
Yeah, we talked about your wardrobe. We talked about, that was the day that you guys went to Golden Corral. And
was that the episode where we had to share a mic and like me and Casey were cracking jokes the whole time?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an adventure.
That was my favorite.
Yeah. But man, I listened to that back. That was so funny. That episode is one of our funniest, I think.
Well, I remember sitting here and I was just thinking to myself, like, when the first like hit of the podcast came through and you guys started, I was like, all right, this sounds really good. And then Casey and Ben started throwing the mic back and forth, and Ben was taking shots at you and you were taking shots at Casey. I was like, all right, I'm starting to get a lay of the land here. I'm starting to understand what's going on.
That day was like my favorite because we went to Golden Corral,
we did
the podcast, and then we climbed on trains after.
We did climb on trains.
You did climb on trains. I forgot that was a big like, hey, we're gonna go climb on trains after this.
Did you think we were serious about that?
At first, no. And then afterwards, I was like, they're talking about it too much for it to not be real.
Casey got real excited.
The problem was the time we had gone the week before, but it was all wet because it had just rained. And like, I don't like heights.
And you can't be on a train when it's wet.
No, you can't be on a wet train. You can't climb a train. And like, we definitely were supposed to be climbing on these trains to start with.
Right.
It was, on Main Street by the river down there, there's the train track, but it's not really a train track anymore.
Sure.
We were climbing on those trains.
Okay.
There's no signs that say do not climb on the trains. So
right.
You climb on the trains.
You climb on the trains.
I was terrified.
It's like going to the City Museum. If it doesn't say don't climb on it, I'm climbing on it, baby. Right.
Last time I went there, I was in so much pain for like 3 days afterwards.
Just sore?
So sore.
Just exploring?
Everywhere. Well, I was like 12.
Like that crackhead museum in St. Louis, where like they got a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
What?
Didn't they have stuff on the roof at one point?
Yeah, they still do. They have a school bus that's hanging off the edge up at the top.
Yeah, I was never allowed up there in my summer camp.
Yeah, they got a plane. I'll never forget when I was maybe 10 or 11, went to the City Museum and, up in the top outside, they have, those big, tubes that you can climb around in, and like it's all made of rebar, which is an interesting material to make, a museum out of. And I was wearing Crocs.
Oh, that wasn't smart.
I did not have them in sport mode. So there was no security on this Croc. And I just remember this was before, now it's, installed, but they have like a net now that catches things if they drop.
Right.
My Croc fell straight down into like this big ball pit that they had squarely underneath. And I just remember as this, 10, 11-year-old me, I'm watching this Croc just like fall down to the city. It got so close to hitting somebody that I could not have climbed out of that rebar tunnel faster than I could have. And climbing on rebar with no
I know
shoe on?
Those tunnels like above. Yeah, I know what you're talking. I thought you were on the roof for a second. I know what you're talking about.
The St. Louis, like the museum itself is so weird because like outside there's like that tiny ass like you can crawl like over like the road.
Yeah.
But it's like so small that what happens if someone gets stuck in it?
That same trip, I think, if not, it was when I was a little older, maybe like 15, 16. I remember climbing around in some of like the catacomb tunnels that they have up top. I guess catacombs are underground, but like some of the really small tunnels that they have up in the caves. I was like a pretty chubby kid when I went last time. I felt like I got very close to getting stuck. I was like, are they going to carve me out of this cave?
Yeah, I don't know what. I'm sure it happens.
There's had to have been a kid that has gotten stuck in there.
Like,
there's an overzealous chubby kid.
No, there's an adult that's
there.
been stuck in there.
Oh, no question.
There's been lots of adults that have been stuck in there. I guarantee that.
My first time there, we went to like one of the corners, and there's like a little like hole in the ground about as big as this shaker bottle, and kids are like jumping in the hole. And there's like little like you can go left, right, anywhere. I was like, how the fuck do I
how
get
do you
out
know
of,
where you're going?
How do you know? Like we didn't have phones. I was like maybe 8 or 9. There was no phone I had.
I spent the night there once in Boy Scouts.
Oh, like a lock-in?
Yeah,
That's
I
cool.
remember I was maybe 5th grade. So what's that, like 10, 11?
10, 11.
We were playing dodgeball outside, and there was these kids that were like, I think they were probably 8th graders. We were 5th graders, and they were just pelting us in the face consistently. Like you get hit in the face, and you know you're 8, you start crying or whatever. And this was like 15 people. It wasn't just me. It was a bunch of people. And these kids are just throwing dodgeballs at their face over and over. And then as soon as you get up again, you get hit in the face again.
It's like that, what was it, Scott Sterling, that YouTube video of the soccer goalie that just, or the volleyball player, just consistently keeps getting hit in the face with a volleyball. Oh, that's a good watch. Just look up Scott Sterling. It's
I've heard it. I think I've seen the video.
Right.
There's one. I know there's a girl that it happened to. That could have been a fake video, but she kept getting hit in the face and it kept going over the net. And
oh God.
Then I think they picked her up.
No, yeah, that's Scott Sterling. That's the Scott Sterling video.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, because they hoist him up on his shoulder, on their shoulders,
and he hits him
then he
again.
gets hit one more time. Yeah.
Volleyball's a interesting sport.
It is.
I'm terrible at it.
I wouldn't take the City Museum for like a lock-in like type place. Like I did the lock-in at the Science
Endless
Center.
Cookies.
Science Center has endless cookies too, though, for Boy Scouts.
You know
that's what sold you on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, endless cookies.
Oh yeah.
We got some Oreos, we got some sugar cookies, got some double chocolate chip.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
like
Yeah, I just feel like when you would go to a lock-in as a kid, you went somewhere that had maybe I don't even know if I can say some level of like educational value. Because like I remember when I did some of my scout trips, we would go to like a train like yard, which I'm sure you guys would love.
we gotta bring Casey for that.
Yeah. Like you'd go to this little rail, place, and you get to see all the trains, and you get to do all that stuff, and then you camp, and then wake up the next morning and do whatever. The City Museum is just kind of a catch-all. It's like, hey, let's go look at some weird
No
stuff.
supervision.
Yeah,
they were just
exactly.
like, have fun.
Yeah.
And we were like 11. You can't let 11-years-olds run wild in that place.
No.
You want to go on a 10-story slide? Let's do it.
Yeah.
I will not do that.
Someone's
I
gonna
did
get
that,
stuck.
And I actually there's no slickness on the slide, so you're banging against the side of the slide as you go down. Like it's like
Yeah.
as you go down, like no matter what you do.
You know that 3-story slide they have in the front?
With the little
Where the
roller
rollers?
things on it. Yeah.
I saw a video of Braun Strowman going down that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
That's a lot of man.
That's a huge man.
That's a lot of meat.
And this
going
was
down the slide.
this was big Braun Strowman too.
Yeah,
before he got
cut.
Yeah. This was 400-pound Braun Strowman.
That's terrible. Imagine being at the bottom of that slide and watching it come towards you.
It was around that time he was tag team with Alexa Bliss.
Oh yeah.
So he wasn't massive, but he was
That's
massive.
a big man.
Yeah, he wasn't Braun,
Right.
but he's not chiseled Braun either.
He doesn't look like me,
You're just at the bottom. Wait, what's that sound?
Yeah, you just see him coming towards you.
Who is that?
Imagine that being at the City Museum and you look over and there's Braun Strowman.
Getting stuck in a cave.
Yeah, he's not fitting in that tunnel.
He's the one stuck in the tunnel.
How big do you think he is now?
Oh,
350?
maybe closer. I don't know. He did cut a lot of weight. Yeah, probably 350.
Because he's muscle now. He was a fat guy before. He was not
lot
fat
of
guy,
mass.
but
Just a lot more mass.
Well, since we're going down that road, you went to Raw Monday night?
Yeah, got to go to Monday Night Raw. I try to make a point of going to just about every WWE event that comes through. Wasn't able to go to NXT on Wednesday, or Tuesday, but was able to go to Monday Night Raw. We figured out about a week beforehand that it was going to be a double taping. So
I found out it was a double taping 8 minutes before the show started, and I got an alert from Fightful, and it said next week's Raw plans. And I was like, oh, man, I missed a double taping.
yeah, no, it was great. And
It was the first 2-hour Raw, too.
yeah, so it was, they started at 6:30 and they did about 3 or 4 matches for main event, which were, it was okay.
I heard Tatum Paxley wrestled Sol Roca.
Yeah.
I like her.
Now, I hadn't seen pretty much anybody that wrestled on main event. The last match of main event was Dragon Lee versus one of the Creed brothers.
Okay.
And that was a great match, but everything else, it was just kind of like you could tell it was a developmental match. You know, it was
Ruka does that soul stash move where it's she jumps up on the front rope, the bottom rope, the middle rope, does a backflip and hits a cutter.
Yeah.
And it's awesome. It's like an inside out backflip.
She won't be able to do that for years. It looks like it's going to take its toll. Because you're also landing on such a hard part of the ring.
Yeah, in the corner over there.
Yeah, it looked amazing,
but
I could tell that it looked tough. No,
I mean she lands on her butt too when she does it. She doesn't hit flat, so I guess it's a little better.
Right.
But it's also compressing her spine.
Right.
It's why Hogan claims he's 6 inches shorter than he was when he started.
Yeah. Me too, buddy. Me too. That's why I'm 5'7". No, yeah, Raw was great though. First show, the live show was awesome. Then the tape show that they did afterwards. It's always so fun. I've gone to a couple of these double shows, and it's always so interesting to see. You're already in kind of a suspension of reality when you go to a wrestling show.
Right.
But then to hear, to hear one, superstar say like, all right, you and me next week.
And then 20 minutes later.
Yeah, and then it's like 1 hour passes, and it's like, oh, cool. He got a shower. He changed his outfit, and now we're ready to wrestle. There was a guy sitting behind me that he just would not let the bit die. But every time somebody said, hey, next week, you and me, or we'll see what happens next week, every time somebody said something along those lines, he was just behind me, and he goes, you mean tonight? And I was like, buddy, we all know. Like,
it's funny the first time.
Yeah, it's like one person chuckled the first time. Now it's like, you don't have to keep going over and over again with the same bit. Nobody was great. I had a blast. Really awesome time. And
you got your seats upgraded too.
We did, yeah. We walked in. We were supposed to be up in the upper bowl in 319. And
that's still not a bad seat at Enterprise.
No.
At the Dome, if you sit up high, it's horrible.
Oh, gosh, no. Yeah,
it's horrible.
That'd
you
be
can't
terrible.
see anything. I've done it. It's horrible.
319 was really good. We got tickets probably like 2 or 3 days prior, and we waited for tickets to kind of drop a little bit. It's like $50 a ticket up top, and then when we walked in...
Dang, they were that much still?
Yeah. I mean...
They didn't drop.
That was on the resale market, too, and I think that's because the news started to come out that it was a double taping. Yeah, so people started kind of seeing the value. So... when we walked in, we went up the escalator to our section. There was an usher there, and he asked us what portal we were going to, and we told him which one. And he said, all right, cool. How many people do you have in your party? And I was like, oh, just the 4 of us. And he had this fat stack of tickets. I mean, probably 100 or so tickets, like physical tickets. And he just like rips off 4 real quick, hands it to us, and he goes, all right, cool. You guys have been upgraded tonight. You're going to go downstairs and go to this portal. And we got upgraded to 114, so like directly down from where we would have been now in the lower
Where
bowl.
at? According to the ring.
We were, if you're looking at the ring like you would on TV, we were back right.
Hard cam back?
Not hard cam side. Sorry, we're sitting on the same side as the hard cam.
Right.
Yeah, just to the right of it. So
they're not on TV, but
not on TV, but
you might have been
full view of the stage, full view of the ring. It was awesome. It was a great time.
Sounds like fun. Was there any big matches? I didn't watch it. I don't know what I was doing, but I was doing something Monday night.
It was great. There was the best one, I think, of the whole night. Jey Uso defended the IC title against Xavier Woods.
Has that happened yet? Is that aired yet?
That did air, yes.
Okay.
Yes, it did, because Jey showed up on NXT.
Yes,
and
Jey
he was
did.
still the champion.
Yes.
Yeah. So yes, Jey Uso versus Xavier Woods. That was a great match. Gunther versus Sami Zayn.
Anything with Gunther is amazing.
Yeah, Gunther versus
you
Sami
could throw
Zayn
a chair at him and he'd have a great match.
It was impeccable. I mean, it was really good. There was a SmackDown that came to St. Louis a few years ago where Gunther was squaring off against Rey Mysterio.
I was there.
Yeah, for the IC title, and that was the closest I've ever thought that like a big championship could change hands at a live show. Mm-hmm. Same energy with this World Heavyweight Championship match. Like every time Sammy hit something big, there was kind of a buzz.
They both are really good at that.
Yeah.
Gunther's good at making you think he's going to lose, and Sammy's incredible at making you think he's going to win.
No question. Yeah, no, it was an awesome time. Awesome athleticism. It's just me and a couple of my hockey teammates, and it was just a good time.
When you said when I realized it was a double taping, you had texted me like the day before if I wanted to go or not, and I had just bought NXT tickets.
Yeah.
And I spent way too much money on those NXT tickets.
NXT was worth it though, right?
Oh, absolutely.
How was
every
it?
dollar. It was amazing. So you want to hear the story? I think I told you this yesterday.
Yeah.
So we work right next door to the factory, game show. And I walked through game show. The security guard had told me on the other end, you might have more success trying to meet a wrestler. It's like, okay. So I go over there. And I walk out the back door of game show, and I walk to the left. Maybe, you saw where it was set up. The gate was at maybe 2 doors down. Not far. Like, I have every right to be back there. So I go up, and I'm just standing there, like, just kind of walking around, trying to act like I'm not supposed to be there, but not part of the, not a fan.
Sure.
I forgot I had a Sting shirt on.
Yeah, that was kind of a red flag. Big kind of giveaway
you
there.
done goofed with that.
Yeah, Melissa pointed that out when I was talking to her.
Yeah, that was rough.
Yeah.
That's like saying like, hey, I work here.
Granted, I do wear that shirt a lot.
Sure.
Like, I wear that shirt. I wore it to the Blues game. Like,
and of course, all the WWE staff knows that you wear that shirt all the time.
Yeah, they don't know. Yeah, definitely. Well, anyway, so I'm standing there, and I'm looking around. Like, am I supposed to be here? Probably not. And then I see a guy in a suit and a cowboy hat walk by. Like, that's Shawn Michaels.
How cool.
Like 3 feet away from me. And I'm thinking, do I say something? Do I say something? Do I say something? And he looked serious, and I think he had JC Jane with him. He had the Fatal Influence Girls, I think was who it was.
Okay.
Do you know them?
Not as familiar with a lot of the NXT
I'm not
talent
either.
right now. So
It was JC Jane, Fallon Hensley, the cowgirl.
Yeah, I think Fallon Henley.
Henley. She used to be with Brooks Jensen and the other guy. I guess she turned heel. And some other girl who looked like she was about 19. Jasmine something. I can't think of her name. I don't know her name. But I think it was these 3. And the security guard is looking at me like, what are you doing over here? And I was like, I'm just walking around, taking a break from work, just wandering around. Because I genuinely was just wandering around.
Just getting some fresh air, boss.
I tried to tell him. And I was like, don't worry, I'm not going to say anything to anybody. I'm not going to talk to anybody. I'm just going to stand here for a second. I'm going to go away.
Sure.
And I was like, I'm not going to bother anybody. Don't worry. And he goes, well, you're bothering me. And I was like, okay, we're going to play this game. I'm doing nothing wrong, and you're being like this. And I was like, man, am I not allowed to be on public property? Because, there's that state-owned trail right behind it.
Sure.
Now, I definitely could have handled myself a little bit better and not pulled the public property card, but I got nervous.
Well, I know it more. I have a fun story about like security.
Oh, you caused trouble too?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily caused trouble.
Accidentally caused trouble?
I would say more it was an omission of information on the security guard's fault. So
Okay.
I used to do photography for the city, SC, so for the soccer team.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
The soccer team.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't
You
like
know
that.
what it is. You've heard of it.
So I would go down to the stadium and I would be shooting for the old news station that I worked at. And just kind of like freelance stuff.
Right.
But I'm at every home game our inaugural year, 2 years ago. And this guy has seen me time after time after time. Coming in, big camera bag, big camera lens. I mean,
I've seen your stuff.
It's not hard to know that
You're a cameraman.
Right.
You can get in most places, but just by carrying a camera.
Right. And the other thing is, like, I'm wearing my media credential.
Oh.
Like, I have my credential on. And I've been using this same credential for weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks. And finally, this one match that I went to, I'm down on the pitch, and I walk onto the field, and this dude, I mean, he's massive. He looks yoked. He stops me, and he goes, hey, man, you can't be down here. And I was like, what do you mean? I've been down here for, God knows how many months now. And he goes, your badge doesn't have the right clearance on it. And I was like, what sort of clearance do I need? And he goes, well, the stripe on it has this little stripe. Apparently I have a green stripe on mine, which allows me to get into like all of the back of house areas.
Right.
Like the media room, the press box upstairs. What it doesn't get is pitch access. So
Pitch is the field. Right.
So anybody that's able to get on the field and take pictures has a red stripe. This is unknown information to yours truly. So I'm just standing there and I'm like, buddy, I don't know what to tell you. You have seen me here before. What do you want me to do? Go find somebody to get me a new badge? Like, that's not going to happen. And he goes, no, you just can't be down here. I don't know what you're going to do, but you're not going to be on the field. So I said, all right, cool. Give me 2 seconds. So I called one of the higher ups that works in the media department for the city.
Oh, you went and got his boss.
Yeah. Well, what I come to realize is this security guard is not an employee of the team. These guys are just third-party contractors that come in and work the events, Same thing with NXT. I'm sure. Was he wearing a WWE shirt?
Well, I'll get into that.
Okay.
I'll get to that.
You got to wait for that one.
Yeah. So like I call my guy and I'm like, hey, he's giving me a lot of trouble. Obviously, you know that I've been here for months taking pictures. Can you come talk to him? And he was like, oh yeah, give me 2 seconds. I'll get you like a temporary badge, no problem. So we spend so much time trying to get me this temporary badge and this and that. Ultimately, he's like one of the directors of media. I mean, like, he's like a big brass guy in the organization.
He's a big deal.
He finally comes over, and the one security guard goes, hey, who said you were allowed to be down here? And I point out like 5 different people that I'm like, he says I can, he says I can, he says I can. That's the security guard over there that initially stopped me, and he goes, what, like the bald guy? And I was like, yeah, that bald guy over there. He brings over a different bald guy. We're talking about 2 different bald people here. And he goes, hey, did you say this guy could be down here? And he's like, nope, I've never seen this guy before in my life. So now it looks like I'm lying to the guy. And I'm like, no, that's not the same Mr. Clean that I was talking about. This is somebody different. So ultimately, the director's able to come down and he's like, hey, man, he's cool. You don't have to like hard wall him like this. So finally he like comes over and he's like, hey, you're fine to be down here, but you have to stay right here in this spot. And I'm like, don't try to put rules on me now that you know that you're in the wrong. Like, don't try to be that guy again. Anyway, that was my run-in with security. So I say all of that to say, unless there's some twist coming up here, well, usually they're like a third-party contractor.
Well, it started that way.
Okay.
So this guy, the guy that said I was a bothering him, and I was like, it's public property, brother. I don't think I called him brother. But
brother.
Turns into Hulk Hogan just because he's talking to somebody that works for WWE.
Hey, sometimes it slips out, Sometimes the Hulk Hogan comes out.
I'm not your brother.
Well, anyway, so I'm just standing there. If I had said something to Sean or something, it'd be different. If I had asked for a picture.
Like you weren't being a nuisance.
No, I was just standing there looking around.
Sure.
They were, that trail that goes behind?
Yeah.
They were yelling at people for stopping on the trail.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You cannot do that.
You don't own... Look, WWE, I'm sorry. Love you. Big fan.
Oh, yeah.
You don't own a property
just
because
sidewalk.
You couldn't sell more seats in the Enterprise Center and you had to move your event to the factory.
Right.
That doesn't mean you own the place.
Now, it's different if they got a permit and they closed down the sidewalk for a couple hours.
If there were some barricades up.
Right, there wasn't. Where I was at, if the barricade was the end of this table, I was on the other end of the table.
Right.
Like, I was 5... the dumpster that's by that barricade?
Yeah.
I was right by the dumpster.
Right.
Like, that was far back from the barricade.
I mean, that's like 20, 30 feet, yeah.
I turned my head and I realized I see a sign that says Gorilla straight ahead. I was like, why is that?
It's crazy they had a monkey there.
Well, where the gate was at was in front of that entrance. Why wasn't the gate back 10 feet?
Right.
If they had a problem where I was at, back 10 feet.
Well, I mean, I'm just also thinking, I think what a part of it might have been is they're so used to being in places where they probably unload the talent and everybody. Mm-hmm. It's probably not as open as what they had to experience at the factory because it's a very open area.
The factory is not meant for a huge production like WWE to come in.
Correct. Some satellite broadcasted TV show.
Right. They're meant for Joe Gatto to come in.
Right.
They're meant for Shane Gillis to come in. Mm-hmm. They're meant for, who'd you see there? Motionless in White?
In This Moment in Ice Nine Kills.
I thought you saw Motionless in White there.
No.
Or you weren't there for that?
No.
That's another Ben.
That was a different
No,
Ben.
Emily was there for that, so I figured you were there.
No, she was with Ava.
I was close.
Well, you were close enough, but like...
I got half of it right.
I got half.
Like, same thing. Charlie Barron's. You're probably seeing Charlie Barron's, aren't you?
I don't have tickets yet, but I need to get them.
Yeah, it's a comedian,
Right, that's what the factory's meant for.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But NXT there was incredible. Well, anyway, so I tell the guy it's public property, and I see a guy in a suit turn around, and he says, I'll handle this. And I was like, uh-oh, what'd I just do? And he comes over, and before he even gets to me, I was like, I'm sorry. I was just walking around, not trying to bother anybody. I'll leave. I go back, and that's when I went to talk to you. So I go back around where this other security guard, I don't know what he was, security, event check-in, somebody that worked in the area.
Was he like a shorter bald dude?
No.
Okay. There was a shorter bald dude walking around like the concourse of the factory or of the district with a WWE
wasn't.
shirt and an earpiece.
I don't know
of course he was. I'm not even going to be like that, but of course he was.
I know, right?
I'm not sure on that one. Well, I go talk to the other security guard because he had told me I could go over there.
Sure.
And I told him what had happened. I was like, and I told him that I said the public property thing. That was probably not the best thing to say.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, I didn't do anything.
And also, you're not wrong.
I'm not. I was in 100% right. But when you say, I found out, my buddy told me, he was like, if you say that, you're looking for a fight.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, when
I didn't even think about it.
Like an auditor.
I was just like, really, man, I can't stand right here. Like, I'm just standing here.
I know my rights. This is private or this is public property.
I'm allowed to record on public
Yeah,
property.
exactly.
type
Yeah, yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
It's one thing if I was sitting there taking pictures, or if I was
If
being.
you were sitting there taking pictures, or if you had, 25 8x10 photos
Right.
of Shawn Michaels and 14 Sharpies, and you're like, please, Shawn, please,
Right.
Shawn. But the fact that you're just there.
I was there for 15 seconds.
Now, here's the only, playing devil's advocate. I can see where they come from on their side of the coin.
Oh, absolutely.
Because, it's even happened on live TV before.
Right. People jump in the ring. And
There are those crazy nuts that are out there that'll just decide that this is my opportunity.
right. Like the guy that jumped Bret Hart at the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, or like, they see, Cora Jade, some Roxanne Perez, some, heaven forbid a female wrestler gets, assaulted outside
Right.
of, the venue.
I'm a big
because,
Roxanne fan.
Yeah, because.
Big Roxanne fan.
Exactly. And if you said that to the security guard, he'd probably be like, yeah, we got to keep this guy back.
Right. That would make sense.
Keep an eye on that dude in the stink shirt
Yeah.
all night.
But
all
like-
night.
I guess I was kind of walking around a little bit, so it looked like I was
You're like
up to
eyeballing
something.
some wrestler.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, I find out the guy in the suit was head of global security.
Global security.
Global security.
Why is he at an independent NXT taping?
I don't know.
Doesn't he have more important things to do?
Evidently not.
I sure hope so.
But
you know?
apparently
Yeah.
he was the head of global security.
That's insane.
It's a good thing I got out of there.
How did you figure that out?
The guy told me.
Are you sure he wasn't just like, I wouldn't mess with that guy?
No, it was,
he's the lollipop
He
princess.
just makes some
and he-
bullshit up. He's
Yeah.
a global security.
Exactly.
Well, I told the guy that this guy was being real strict over there. He goes, yeah, he's the head of global security. I was like, oh, good thing I walked away when I did, because he
made
could
you
get me
think of
banned from every single event ever.
Well, I was gonna say after you got in, because you were on hard cam side,
Mm-hmm.
so like you were on screen.
Yeah.
I just thought it was so funny the prospect of like the security guard sitting there during the show,
Oh, yeah.
and he's already had this like issue with you, and then he sees you
wasn't
in the
even-
crowd, and he's like, oh, he's right there.
It wasn't really
Jump
even
in
an
the ring.
issue. I got into way more of an issue with the security guard at Evolution Fest. That was a whole other thing.
Somebody was probably sitting there going, yeah, Craig, you see that guy in the Sting shirt in center row? Yeah, just keep an eye on him. He was trying to.
The head's over there. Hey, that fat kid in that stink shirt. He's like,
Hey, now, hey, that was unnecessary.
he's over there. He's ringside right now.
That was unnecessary. The fat kid? What was that about?
There were many more people more out of shape than.
Why do wrestling
any
fans
of us.
smell so bad?
Yeah, let me
Yeah,
tell you,
Jack,
buddy.
why does it smell so bad?
Let me tell you, buddy. I know it. I know it. Did I ever tell that story of when we were at Dynasty?
No.
So
hear
obviously,
this.
like you and I were in the like the media section,
Right.
I was snapping photos and everything.
Are you talking about the guy next to us?
No.
Okay, good, because I liked him.
Yeah, no, he was really
He's
cool.
Review STL. He's like an actual reporter. Nice guy.
Sure. No, everybody around us was great in the media section. During the main event, I decided to dip out a little early to beat the traffic because my car was also parked in an extremely sketchy part of
The
downtown.
gas station next to Pappy's.
Really?
Yeah, it was
That's
not.
where you parked?
I got there a little bit late.
Okay, was this
and-
at Enterprise too?
No, this was at Chaffetz.
Which is worse.
That's
Yeah.
That part
20
over
times
there
worse.
is
Bad.
bad.
Yeah, it's terrible.
If you're on the Shafik side, you're fine.
Yeah,
But it's that you cross the sidewalk
it's bad.
and you're liable to get shot.
I mean, it's
Right.
kind of like when you pass like Wash U,
Yeah.
you take like one step outside like their thing. It's like, oh, someone got shot over here, like over drugs,
Yeah.
and you're like, oh,
or when you pass Delmar.
Yeah.
no, would never.
Would never try it.
That's the
Nope.
way we went to Forest Park for Evolution on
Yeah.
accident.
Idios.
Yeah, we didn't. I just followed the GPS and I would drive it and I was like, I'm scared.
Yeah.
And this was 11 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And I locked my doors, I locked the windows.
It's going
I
through
was
U
like,
City too.
it took us down by Martin Luther King.
Oh, see, that's the one place you don't want to be.
Yeah,
in
or
St.
old Martin
Louis.
Luther or something. I
Any,
don't know.
love-
any street named after like a
Don't even.
no,
go
I'm
down
not
that
being
road.
so for real. Any street named after like a significant figure is gonna have issues.
Brett Hall Avenue's okay.
Brett
yeah,
Hall
but like
Avenue, yeah.
Martin Luther King like Boulevard, you better pray when you go to that neighborhood.
Yeah, I love our city so much.
You go down there a lot too.
All the time.
Better than Chirac.
Yeah, all the time. Yeah, it's definitely. I think it gets a bad rap because of the terrible things that happen.
In North City and East Side.
Yeah, I really hope that St. Louis can be not only just painted in a better light soon, but also like be in a better light. Like I hope
Does St.
things
Louis
switch
claim
around.
East Side? Like, do we claim East Side as part of St. Louis?
It is part of St. Louis.
Yeah, I think the people.
It's got the word St. Louis in it.
Well, I know that, but it's also not part of like Missouri. So
No,
we,
but St. Louis goes over the bridge.
so we do claim it then.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
See, that's where all the problem comes from.
Right.
That and North City.
Well, North City's just like its own little mess.
So Dynasty, I leave the main event a little early,
Right.
and I had a little squad of friends sitting up in a different section, so I went over to them to kind of, say goodbye. And as soon as I entered their section,
Oh, I know the smell.
the pH of the air changed.
Oh, it's bad.
It was
It's the cheap seats, right?
Yes, it was every bodily odor you could imagine,
Mixed with pot.
just festering.
There's a pot smell.
It was
there
like
too.
the air somehow settled on the ground. It was so thick. And I hate to describe it in such a visceral way, but it was just no other word except for like pungent comes to mind. It was so bad. So
Pungent's a weird word,
Isn't it?
too.
Ben, you've never been to a wrestling show, but
No.
if you go just once, you'll know that exact smell, and it's because they pack you in there too, and it's bad.
it's only happened that one time. I've personally never experienced out of the.
You go to indie shows?
No, and I think that's what it is because
There's your problem.
I really do.
Go to an indie show.
WWE, it's the more casual, like families
Right.
and the kids and dads and moms are going. But
Go to a Glory Pro show in July
No.
yeah, it was not good.
at the
sounds
South Broadway
bad.
Athletic Club when the AC goes out.
I looked.
No.
I
Not
looked
the
at one of my.
AC.
I looked at one of my buddies and I leaned over to his ear and I was like, "How are you guys doing this right now? It smells so bad right now. It was terrible."
Like the one UFC event I went to, it was like nice clothes, nice people ever, like bling,
Yeah.
jewelry. And it was a pay-per-view too, so I wasn't expecting nothing less. But even when my friend went without me to the St. Louis event, they said there was not like anything bad.
Sure.
And you're over here describing like pungent smells. I'm like, what the hell? You
Not
guys-
good, man.
Did
It
you
was not
see
good.
when UFC was here in May?
I saw it. I wasn't there.
The guy that pulled his pants down in the ring?
Derek Lewis.
Yes. Yeah.
The guy behind him, the bald guy, like balding guy,
Yeah.
was my grandpa.
Oh,
In the ring
sick.
with him, the guy that turns around and goes, "What are you doing?" That's my grandpa.
What a good claim to fame your grandpa has now.
Oh yeah,
I think the best come to fame is the Man-Shaved commercial he did after he took his pants
Yeah,
off.
yeah.
Like I'm Derek Lewis, and your balls get hot like mine.
Yeah.
You need the lawnmower like 3,000 or something.
That's an iconic post interview for the sports.
my balls
world.
was hot.
Joe Rogan's like, I understand.
He's like, "All right, you heard it here first. Back to you guys."
Joe Rogan is such a good interviewer.
Yeah.
It's just so basic what he does too, but he's so good at it. It gets the
Oh
reactions.
yeah.
Because he just asks like regular questions.
Right.
But he gets the reaction because he's Joe Rogan. But back to NXT.
Yeah.
Obafemi versus Tony D'Angelo. I had never seen Tony D'Angelo wrestle. I'm not a big NXT guy.
It's my Italian brother.
Yeah. I started the match. Obafemi is a monster.
Big man.
Have you seen him?
Yeah.
He is huge.
Giant.
And I was 3 feet away from him. He's even bigger. And he was scary.
It's fun.
He comes out, ooh.
It's fun seeing these big guys
Yeah,
like
that
in
close.
person because when you see the guys, like everyone knows the Big Show.
Yeah.
When you see the Big Show on TV, you're like, okay, yeah,
He's
he
pretty
looks
big.
massive. You see him in person, and you're like,
Oh my God.
my goodness, this is a big man.
I saw Tyrus in person,
Yeah,
like 2 feet away from him. My grandpa talked to him. That is the biggest human I've ever seen in my life.
yeah.
He's 400 pounds and 6'8".
Like his muscles have muscles.
No, he's just fat.
Fair enough. I can.
Tyrus is a horrible.
Right.
Do you remember him in WWE?
I do, yes.
Imagine him 12 years later and heavier. It's bad. And he was the champ in NWA for a year and a half.
Good.
Yeah. But Obafemi and Tony D'Angelo is a top, 7 match I've seen live.
What an exact number.
I don't
I know,
know.
right?
I don't have an exact
He's like
number
going
on
through
that.
like all the numbers in his head. Okay, that one was bad.
Well,
This
He just
one
went.
was
He just
worse.
went
This
through.
one was great.
He just went through 8 matches in his
I
head
did.
instantly and said, "That's
He's like,
number 7."
Well, let me
found
walk you
it.
through my thought process here.
Right.
Nothing is topping Danielson versus Ospreay.
You know what? I can probably. I don't know who that is, but I could probably understand why.
There's not much topping. I saw Kenny Omega and Takeshita live. I saw Pac and Okada. That was a great match. Dax and Ospreay was amazing.
And you AEW and New
I like
Japan.
that.
Homer.
Davey Richards and Minoru Suzuki live was awesome.
What's your top WWE match of all
That I've
time?
seen live or just in general?
I guess that you've seen live.
It would either be D'Angelo and Oba or Ray and Gunther was pretty fun. Trying to think what
That
else.
was very fun.
What else have I seen live? Well, on paper, the 2022 Royal Rumble should have been an all-time classic
Should have been amazing.
because it had Roman and Seth should have tore the house down. It didn't. Bobby and Brock should have tore the house down. It didn't. Piper Niven and Becky Lynch now would tear the house down. And it should have then, but it didn't.
You had Edge and Beth Phoenix.
Edge and Beth. I forgot about that. Was like the big one I wanted to see.
Yeah.
Miz and Maurice. That was fun.
Yeah.
That was good. But all those matches kind of sucked.
Yeah, it was very mad pay-per-view. And the sign got set on fire.
It did twice.
WrestleMania, yeah, the
Twice.
WrestleMania sign.
So no, I don't know. That's a good. I've only been to 3 WWE shows. I've been at 4. I've been to 2 SmackDowns. I guess 3 SmackDowns because it was double taping. And then I went to the Royal Rumble, and I went to NXT. It might be Obafemi and Tony D'Angelo.
Hey, if that's it, that's it.
That was a fun match because I was sitting ringside. We were so invested in it. Like at the beginning of the match, I didn't care who won. I was cheering for Oba because we were barking. It was fun.
Right.
and then he hit. Who's the girl with Tony D'Angelo?
Couldn't tell you. I
Adriana
know her,
something?
don't know her name.
Might be Adriana Rizzo.
Sounds Italian.
She kind of looks like Thea Hale.
Yeah.
You know who I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. But I just don't know her name. But Oba hit her on accident, and then I turned. I was all in favor of Tony, and Tony won. Tony D'Angelo beat Obafemi.
It's incredible.
We were like, what the heck?
It was a great match.
It was fun. Did you see it at all?
I did. I saw the highlights.
It was fun.
Yeah.
I've always wanted to be the guy heckling that you could hear on camera.
Oh, gosh.
And I was finally in the spot, and Stax, his wingman, is standing right in front of me, and I can't see anything. And I go, hey, Stax, I can't see. And it got people around me to laugh. I don't know if it got heard on TV or not, but I was like, hey, Stax, listen to me.
The security guard's in the back, and he's like,
That
that was him. Go get him.
This little bitch is doing at it again. First outside, now he's heckling the stars.
There were some fun matches, though. Bianca, Jade, and Kalani was fun. Why are people calling me?
You got Randy?
I'll talk to them later. Randy and Javon. I was kind of sad I felt bad for Javon.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
The botch.
Yeah, he over-rotated.
It was a great idea.
It was.
On paper, they're trying to emulate something crazy like Evan Bourne's RKO, you know.
Randy's 15 years older than he was.
Yeah.
Randy's 44. Like, he's not young anymore.
Well, when you got a rookie and you got a guy that's seasoned like Orton, I mean, he can do any of that stuff, but that move relied on Javon to do it, you know, perfectly. So.
And he did. He just barely missed it.
Yeah.
And you could see, Ben, I don't know if I'm assuming you didn't see this.
No, it was WWE?
Yeah.
Then no, I didn't. I'm sorry,
You've
guys.
seen the RKO out of nowhere, though.
Yes.
He hits this triple corkscrew, just keeps going like this. You know how R-Truth does that spinny thing?
Yeah.
It was that, but 19.
Right.
A 19-year-old, not a 52-year-old doing it. R-Truth is like 50-something.
It's insane.
And he looks like he's 30. But he does this twisty, spinny thing, and Randy goes up. And Randy looked off-centered when he did it. He looked kind of out of place because you could tell he was watching for it, which is not normally like him. Normally he sells it like he's dead, and then he hits it real quick. But I think Javon rotated his head too much, and Randy couldn't get his arm up on
catch
it.
On time.
And 10 years ago, Randy would have kicked him in the head and screamed at him.
Yeah, called him stupid.
Stupid.
Right.
Instead, he picked him up, hit him with another one.
Kind of laughed it off.
Yeah, and then he walked him around the ring with his arm up.
Yeah.
And Javon is like almost crying. He's like, I'm sorry, because he's a 19-year-old kid.
I saw him apologize as soon as he stood up.
As soon as he's like, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. And Randy grabs his head and kind of pats him on the face and goes, it's all right, brother.
Yeah.
It's all right, buddy.
How cool.
That was really cool. To get a guy like Randy to do that, who used to, like 10 years ago, would have kicked you in the face.
Yeah.
Like when Shawn kicked Vader in the head.
A lot of maturing. For sure.
Well, sort of, sometimes.
Right.
In the ring. I've heard some stories. But, but after the show, Randy went around and took pictures with every single person in the front row.
That's awesome.
Except for me.
Maybe because security told him before he went out.
That's what I was thinking. I got a fist bump from him, though.
He said, hey, there's a kid in a Sting shirt.
That Sting shirt.
Everybody in the damn mother has met Randy Orton but me.
You've never met him?
I've never met him.
He's a nice guy.
I've heard. My dad did the countertops at his house.
He said, I've heard.
Well, you remember I came in yesterday, I was talking to you, I went in the back, I talked to Melissa for a little bit.
Yeah.
She's met him.
Yeah.
Why has she met Randy Orton?
Well, Randy's a hometown grown guy.
Why have I not met Randy Orton?
Got to be in the right place, right time.
Maybe don't piss off global security.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Everybody
You're
I
on
know.
a hit list now for
everybody
WWE.
I know has met this man, except for me. My dad has been in his house. My grandpa got his hair cut by his dad's roommate.
What?
All these connections.
Cowboy Bob's roommate in college cut my grandpa's hair in Bob's room with Bob in the room.
My aunt's landscaper's dog's 14th cousin.
My landscaper's
That's a true story.
boyfriend's
Hold on.
son.
This is a true story. My grandpa got his hair cut in the dorm room at Mo State in 1970, I want to say. And in the dorm room, Cowboy Bob lived with his friend, and his friend was the barber. So my grandpa got his haircut in front of Cowboy Bob in like 1972.
Okay, that's cool. That's a cool little connection.
Yeah,
That's a neat
Bob.
connection.
Bob doesn't remember him, but because he's met him a couple of times. It was 50 years ago.
Right, a long time.
So that was NXT. Raw was fun too. You had a good time.
Jack's gonna go back to the factory, and it's gonna be one guy. Hey, there he is again. We found him.
He's actually not the head of global security for the WWE. He's the head of the global security for the globe. Like, he's like the global security
There's a little
man.
picture like Jack in like the box office. Watch for this kid. It's just Jack like this, like record.
Every time I'm on this show, we talk about a new list that Jack gets added to. First, it was the Golden Corral list.
I forgot about that.
We said that you were going to be like the reason they have new protocol for how much food someone can consume. Now you're going to be on a list for the factory.
You know what's funny? I went on a diet like 3 weeks after that.
Yeah, I mean,
He looked great. You know, he did great.
you do. You look great, buddy.
I feel like I put some weight back on, but I feel like it's gone away. Like
Hey, when you drop as much weight as you cut,
yeah.
it's really easy to gain it back slowly with like water weight and.
No, I gained it back with like Chick-fil-A. You know when you came in upstairs, the dining hall was right there?
Yeah.
That's the problem.
They had a Pizza Hut. That's also a problem.
I've only been to Pizza Hut like twice because it destroyed my stomach.
Well,
I got so sick off of that, I almost called him to take me to the urgent care.
I would have.
I know you would.
I would have laughed at you while you were there.
You also would have carried me out of my bed.
Hey,
Yes,
that's the kind of friend that everyone needs, though.
I can actually carry him, so it actually would have made sense for me to
Thanks,
carry him
buddy.
out of bed.
There you go.
Hey, you know what?
All right,
That wasn't an insult.
Instead of making fat jokes about me,
That wasn't an insult.
I got a little game for you, Drew.
Oh, okay.
So I got 8 of these for you.
Oh, shit.
So I'm going to have you guess the wrestler by the achievement.
Okay.
And I'm going to give you the major promotions.
Okay.
So I went all over the place.
So all sorts of companies.
These are all names that you know.
Okay.
Yes, you know all these names. If you don't, there's a problem. What?
I don't want to be that guy, but the Mets just beat the Phillies.
Whoa.
Oh.
So the Mets are now in the NLCS.
Oh, they knocked out the Phillies?
The Phillies are out now.
Wow. Let's go Mets.
I'm in the corner.
All right.
That was their win song a couple years ago. The Phillies.
I'm in the corner.
Yeah. Like the I'm in a corner watching you kiss her. And it's like the most depressing song in the world, but they were just bumping to it after every win. And it's like
Gloria for them.
Yeah, it's like, what? Do you guys know like how to hype yourselves up after a win?
Real quick, the Cleveland Guardians are down 2-1 to the Detroit Tigers, which is
Wow.
great.
Detroit was playing a really good first game too.
Tarek Screwball.
And right now, the Yankees and Royals are tied 2-2. So that's a quick little break. I'm sorry.
That's that's sports. Boom goes the dynamite.
But like the Mets getting to where they are right now is honestly amazing.
Yeah, no, they've had a fantastic year. I could talk about the postseason all day long.
So could I. I had fun with it.
I have not looked at it at all.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I used to be a big baseball guy, and I have not followed baseball at all anymore. I say that we just had Chip Carey on here.
Chip Carey's like shaking his head listening
Was
to
it
this.
yesterday we had him on? or
Why
last
did
week
I
we had him on?
dedicate all my time?
Now,
to those
why did
guys?
this kid say he's a listener?
Did you listen to the Chip episode?
I did. Yeah.
What'd you think of it?
It was great.
It was a little different style than I'm used to. Very, because this is like, I wouldn't call this an interview, but it's kind of an interview.
No, it definitely is. I think like being on talk radio, a podcast, whatever it is, it's definitely a different medium.
Yeah.
But those kinds of personalities that come in with so much expertise,
Right.
they definitely know what they're signing up for. Like they know they're not just going to come on and say like, hey, what do you guys want to talk about? Like they know they're going to end up talking about their profession, what they're good at, what they're known for. Like,
Right.
It's, I don't think it comes as any shocker, but it was an awesome episode.
It was cool. It was cool that
And
you took the time.
It's really hard to do those kind of things like remotely.
It is.
So
Over
like
the
for you guys
phone.
to tackle it over the phone, like it sounded
And
great.
he was driving, which made it
He was.
worse.
Yeah.
I think he'd been in the car for a while too, but we were very thankful Chip came on, and it
it
meant a lot to
fantastic.
us.
Get him back on sometime.
Maybe.
Hopefully
one day we
he's
can
not
get him.
driving to wherever he's going.
So that day there was a radio show next door. They were interviewing the football coach and the top receiver for Lindenwood, and they kept looking in the window. And I was really confused on what they were doing because they were having some issues getting the board to work because their normal board op wasn't there, and I vaguely know how to board op. I know how to do it now, but that day I didn't know. I learned like a day later.
Yeah.
But they keep looking in the window. This one girl, this one guy. Their show Lions Den Thursdays at 7 on HD3 The Tower. I think.
Plug.
Yeah, I'll plug them. They're nice to me.
Yeah.
They may get us Jeff Jarrett. So
Oh wow.
they say we'll
That'd
see.
be crazy.
Yeah. But I keep seeing her look in the door, and I about got up. I was like, what do you need? Like, is something wrong? Do you
Right.
need me? They thought Chip was in studio,
Oh.
and they kept looking to try to see him.
That's funny.
Yeah.
They're like, is he over in the corner there?
Because
he hiding?
he probably would have been in that chair.
Yeah.
because that's my chair usually where you're at. I'm running the board today. I'm in Emily's chair.
I was gonna say the chair feels like your chair.
Yeah, I broke it in pretty good over there.
Yeah, it feels like there's.
I've done 45 episodes in that chair between.
No one sat in like this chair in a hot minute.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, we had David sit
You
in the
sat
chair.
in there last time.
No, because I sat over there.
No, you didn't, because this mic was buzzing.
Oh, yeah.
You sat there.
That
and
mic
before
is gonna
that,
piss me off, you know.
This mic buzzes, and it's annoying.
Yeah,
Olivia sat in that chair, too.
I took a break that episode because we had 2 guests. So I was like, yeah, it's all you two.
That was a fun one. I
want to try that thing they bought. I don't know what it like.
You ever heard of Mata? It's an Mata or something.
I don't
It's an
know.
Argentinian drink.
Oh, no.
I'm going to ask him if they know Lionel Messi.
Never heard of it.
All right, let's get into this game a little bit.
Yeah, hit me with it. All right.
So this person, we're going to start you easy and get harder. A 10-time WWE champion, 4-time World Heavyweight champion, a 1-time Intercontinental champion, 1-time United States champion, 1-time Tag Team champion, 2-time Raw Tag Team champion, 1-time SmackDown Tag Team champion, Money in the Bank winner, and a 2-time Royal Rumble winner.
This would be St. Louis's own the Viper, Randy Orton.
Yep. We had to start out easy.
Nailed it. As soon as you said 10-time WWE champion,
you knew who it was.
4-time World Heavyweight, just putting 14 together, yeah.
So a couple of these, I had the information on who they were tag champs with.
Okay.
And I'm going to say I'll give them to you, but you only get half a point if I give them to you.
Okay.
All right, next one. AEW World Champion, AEW World Tag Team Champion, 2-time Trios Champions. That's not what I want. IWGP Heavyweight Champ, IWGP Intercontinental Champion, a 2-time Junior Heavyweight champion in the IWGP, 1-time Junior Heavyweight Tag Champ. The rest of these are IWGP.
Junior.
2-time United States Heavyweight Champion.
It's just a little guy.
Little midget wrestling.
Never openweight 6-man tag champs 2 times. And he won the G1 Climax.
You know,
I know you used to watch New Japan.
Very,
At least a little bit.
Very loosely.
This era is the era you watched.
Was this talent ever in WWE?
Technically.
Technically, okay.
By technically, I mean Mid-South or something. Not Mid-South.
Like developmental.
Yeah.
Sheesh. I'm trying to think Trios champion. I'm trying to think of...
I don't give it away if I give you that one.
Is it one of the Jacksons?
It's both of the Jacksons.
Both the... Okay.
The Young Bucks.
Okay, got it. I got there.
Yeah. Who is it? It's one of 2 people.
Is it Nick?
No, it's not one of the Jacksons. The Jacksons were the tag team champs with them.
Oh.
Or trios.
Is it Kenny Omega?
It's Kenny Omega.
Okay, cool.
All these champions are actually low-key scaring me. I'm a UFC guy, so, we got flyweight, featherweight, all that.
Right.
I'm over here hearing tag team this, little junior wrestling. I'm like, what the hell is all of this? How did they do this?
There's so many.
I wouldn't have made you pick one of the Jacksons. That would have been... Can you tell them apart?
Only when they have their sideburns grown out.
Right now, I can't tell them apart.
Yeah.
Nick dyed his hair, and I can't tell them apart. Nick had blonde hair, and Matt had black hair.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
And now they look identical.
Yeah.
But now they're Matthew and Nicholas now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to know.
All right, next one.
2 for 2 so far.
You're doing great.
The first two are
Thank you, buddy.
The first 2 are New Japan.
Okay.
Oh, scary.
Junior heavyweight champion 3 times. Junior heavyweight champion. Junior heavyweight. I can't talk. Junior heavyweight tag champ 6 times. WWE Universal Champion. 2-time NXT champion. 2-time Intercontinental champion. 1-time United States champion.
Yep.
3-time World Tag Team champion. And 2-time SmackDown Tag Team champion.
How many belts did this dude get?
A lot. Is this Finn Balor?
This is Finn Balor.
Dang, 3 for 3.
How do you know this?
You just gotta find the one that you
The
recognize.
2 NXT gave it away,
Yeah, the
didn't
2
it?
NXT and the 1 Universal.
Yep.
1 Universal.
I think everybody else that's won the Universal has won it twice.
That's what did it for me. Yeah. 3 for 3.
You're doing good.
God.
We got 5 more to go, baby.
AEW TNT champ twice. AEW World Trios champ once. NWA World Heavyweight champion.
Oh.
Impact World champion. World Heavyweight Championship 2 times in WWE. 2-time ECW champion.
Yeah.
These 4-time Intercontinental. 1-time European. 1-time Hardcore. 1-time Light Heavyweight. 9-time Tag Champ. World Tag Team Champ.
This is one of the best heels in the game. That is Christian Cage.
You got it.
Let's go.
What gave it away?
I'm scared now.
Impact give it away?
No, Impact did not give it away. It was a combination of the 2 World Heavyweight Championships and the TNT Championship. And then what really solidified it was ECW.
Okay.
ECW gave it away. That like 2009 Christian, that's like prime time for me when it comes to Christian. So like that's when I was a huge fan of his.
He's doing incredible work right now.
Yeah.
And I almost put, so I just kind of copied their stuff from Wikipedia.
Yeah.
Their accomplishments, because I couldn't find another page that did it that way. And I almost put in the Casino Gauntlet champ. Casino Gauntlet.
Wouldn't have been able to tell you that.
You wouldn't have got that one?
Nope.
I thought that one would have given away.
Scary. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like you could like do some like CIA level stuff.
Yeah. By the way, the lottery number tonight is.
Do you follow Chris Van Vliet?
Yeah.
You know when he'll post like the title map?
Yeah.
Sometimes I'm really good at those. Other times I'm horrible.
Yeah. It's fun. Those are fun.
Because you got to sit there. Sometimes it'll give it away right away. You can tell when you see Cena's U.S. title, you know it's Cena.
Correct.
All right, next one.
Scary.
2-time WWE champ, 8-time Intercontinental champ, 2-time United States champion.
Can I just guess now?
Let me read them all. I know you know who it is.
No. I want to see if he can. I want to see.
I know the 8-time gave it away.
I want to see if he'll scare me here. Like I want to see if he can scare me.
Is it The Miz?
It's The Miz.
Let's go.
Now
the face that Ben is making right now. Yeah, he's moving further and further away. Every question I get right.
I mean, if I heard 8-time IC champ, I would know immediately it was Miz.
And I think the only reason I know that is because at Raw they were showing a teaser for his documentary.
Yeah,
and he said something about 8-time Intercontinental. It was just fresh.
He'll get the 9th one, so they get Jericho out of the record book.
Yeah, it was just fresh on the brain.
Unless Jericho comes back.
Now is that 5 for 5?
I think you are 5 for 5.
You're scaring me over here.
All right, let's have some fun.
Okay, that sounds scary over there too.
He won the Battle Bowl Battle Royal in 1991.
Oh.
WCW Tag Team Champ 3 times. WCW World Heavyweight Champ 6 times. WCW United States Heavyweight Champion 2 times. WCW Intercontinental World Heavyweight Champion. What? Oh, International. I can't read. NWA World Heavyweight Champ. NWA World Television Champ. TNA World Tag Champ. TNA World Heavyweight Champ 4 times. NWA World Heavyweight Champion 1 time. And an AEW Tag Champ.
Never in WWE.
He never won a title in WWE.
But he was in WWE.
I'm scared.
That's for you to know. That's for me to know and you to find out. I gave you one hit with Kenny. I'm not giving you any more.
Oh, yeah, 91. Okay. So
I shouldn't have told you that. That's not going to help.
Right in the middle of the Monday Night Wars prior.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Before they got hot.
You said there, so he won a world championship in WCW?
6 times.
6 times.
Horrifying.
So it's not Booker T.
Not Booker T.
I'm on the fence between. No, Razor Ramon never won. Scott Hall never won a WCW championship.
No. He never won a.
He never won the big one.
Yeah.
Man, the TNA threw me off too. Because as soon as you said that, I started thinking about TNA champions that I immediately recognize.
There's a reason I picked this guy.
What year was he in TNA? What year did he win that TNA
I don't have that information.
Okay. I'm assuming obviously further along in his career. But never won a championship in the WWE.
He did not.
Wow.
You want the tag? You want to know who he won the tag titles with?
In WCW?
WCW.
Sure.
Lex Luger, the Giant, and Kevin Nash.
See, if you would have said Kevin Nash, I would have thought Scott Hall again.
Right. I do not like Kevin Nash.
Kevin Nash sounds like a fun name. I'm not going to lie.
Kevin Nash is a miserable human.
Yeah, he doesn't seem like the nicest guy in the world.
He's a miserable, miserable person.
Man, who won a championship with, you said Lex Luger?
Lex Luger.
Lex Luthor.
My goodness.
This may be the hardest one on here.
I might be stumped, and I just watched the Mr. McMahon documentary, so I saw a good
He's not
amount.
in there.
Okay, he's not on the documentary. Okay,
No.
that's...
It makes you feel better, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did you hear the last title I said?
Yeah, the AEW what?
World Tag Team Champion.
Is it? No, it can't be Jericho.
Jericho won a bunch of titles.
Right.
We just talked about that. He's a 9-time IC title champ.
What sort of other accolade could you give me?
I think he's a WWE Hall of Famer.
What? And he teamed with Kevin Nash?
Apparently. There's one hint that if I say it, it'll completely give it away. and you'll know it, so I'm not going to say that one.
Go ahead, make me feel good.
Bash at the Beach. No, not Bash at the Beach. Starcade. Sorry.
Starcade
97.
Oh, it's Sting. It's Sting.
I am shocked you didn't get that.
You know, it's only because
I figured the AEW gave it away.
Yeah, and I don't know why that it was just the last thing on my brain, especially when you said he didn't win a championship. I was running my brain through all the guys that didn't make it in WWE and then went to TNA. I wasn't thinking.
Who were you thinking? Like Taz?
Well, I was thinking guys like Taz, AJ Styles, Kurt Angle. Then I'm like, they were never in WCW.
And they all won WWE titles, too.
Right. So, like, my brain was racked.
You're thinking like the, what were they called? Mafia something?
Main Event Mafia.
You're thinking those kind of guys? Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, I think all
like
those.
Bubba Ray Dudley, you know, like some just obscure thing.
Bubba has more tag titles than anybody in WWE history.
Right.
And he did it in like 3 months.
All right, 5 for 6.
This
we're
is
fine.
scaring me a lot. And Kevin Nash sounds like a horrible dude. Every person I've met with the last name Nash has been a very pleasant human being.
I'm sure he's great.
And I can bet that because I met Steve Nash, and that dude was very pleasant.
You're about as tall as Kevin Nash. He's giant.
I don't want to be compared to a miserable man, though. I have no idea who that is. But
Right.
he sounds
Kevin
bad,
Nash has
so.
like 6 inches on him.
Yeah, I know.
Which is
He's
scary.
a tall
Horrible.
man.
Ben's 6'5".
Yes.
Ben is a
very
tall man.
Big boy.
Tall man.
All right.
Yes.
Yeah, 2 more?
Yes, 2 more.
Okay.
He didn't get us, so I'm coming back over here.
All right, we got a 5-time Knockouts champion, a 5-time WWE Women's champion, and a 1-time Divas champion.
That would be Mickie James.
You got it.
Let's go.
Mickey is possibly the nicest wrestler I've ever met.
Yeah.
She's so sweet. She was rubbing my arm when I was talking to her.
Oh.
I was talking
look
to
at
her.
you, little flirt.
I was talking to her and Flair at the same time,
What a name drop.
right? And Mickey's rubbing my arm, and Nick Aldis, her husband, was not far away.
Man, you could have hit it big there, Jack. Could have hit it big.
Jack could have had it made, you know.
Would have been set.
All right, you ready for the last one?
Will you
Let's
pay
get
my,
it.
will you pay
Let's
my
go.
tuitions, ma'am?
Let's go 7 for 8 here.
All right. Artist of Stardom champion 6 times.
What?
Don't question it. Goddess
You
of
look
Stardom
scared.
champion 1 time. High Speed champion. SWA World champion, which I think is Stardom something.
I have no idea any of the
Do you know-
championships that you've currently
What the
read
hell
out.
Do you
are
know what
these
Stardom is?
championships?
Japanese women's wrestling.
Okay.
So there's your clue.
Okay.
Wonder of Stardom champion 2 times. World of Stardom champion 2 times. WWE Women's champion. WWE Women's Tag champ twice. NXT Women's Tag champ. NXT Women's Tag Team champ 1 time. Winner of Women's Money in the Bank. And she won a Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic.
That would be Asuka.
That would be wrong.
It's either Asuka or, well, it's not.
Well,
Asuka.
let's let Ben guess.
Yeah, Ben,
Well,
go
I
ahead.
don't have a guess, but I want to say that those first 3 championships that you said.
I've
sounded-
never heard of them either.
Well, no, they sounded like they came from like some preschool, like fight club.
somebody
like
was making
like
it up
when
as
I
they
was
were
in
going.
preschool, you know, we were having like the WWE like type stuff on like the
Sure.
like the turf mats. That sounds like something that like we just make up
Artist
a
of
belt for.
Stardom.
Yeah.
This is the Artist of Stardom. I was
I'm
like,
the king of demolition
all
champion.
the boys were like, yeah.
It looks like the Artist of Stardom champ is a trios title.
Okay.
And it looks like the Goddess of Stardom is a tag title.
So I'm just trying to connect Money in the Bank with
Japan.
Japan. Asuka,
Nope.
Kairi Sane.
Nope.
Yeah,
There's only one other one.
shoot, Io Sky.
Io Sky.
Let's go. Okay.
Or really, her name is
No idea.
Io Shirai.
Io Shirai, right. And then she came, when she came
Yeah.
back, it was Io Sky
I thought,
at SummerSlam, sure.
yeah, I didn't like that when they changed her name, but
Yeah.
I understand why they did
Hey,
it.
you know what? I will take 6
6 for 8.
for 8.
You jumped the gun with
I am
Asuka there a
thoroughly
little bit.
scared.
Yeah,
and
I
impressed.
I think if
Because
I thought
Asuka's like
about
a
it.
5-time champ.
Yeah, if I thought about it a little bit more, I think I probably, I don't know. I think,
And she definitely didn't win a Dusty Rhodes Tag Classic.
didn't know if that was one of those times that,
She went down to NXT.
yeah, I can't remember when people either go back or when Asuka got called up.
If I had said Kaylee Ray was her tag partner.
No, I don't think that
That's
would
a
have given away for me.
weird combination.
Yeah.
Kaylee Ray. I like Kaylee Ray.
Yeah.
I don't know what they call her now. But,
Right.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Redhead with eyelid on.
Yeah.
What's her name now?
Hey, well, I'll take 75%
Alpha
every day of
Fire.
the
That's
week.
like
What's her name?
only scary because I compared to like what you knew, like what you said, like the titles and all that, to like the UFC knowledge, you know. Like if you ever did that with me, it'd be like, oh, this person was a 2-time champion. I'd be like, oh fuck, I don't even know where to start with that.
Yeah, what I would say to that is like, it's
But like you over here, like naming all of these belts, like he went on like a whole tangent for a couple of them. I'm like, Jesus.
I think it's easier to remember the championships in the world of pro wrestling because
they make such a big deal about them.
Yeah, and you relate them so closely to the storylines that you get invested in. You know, in UFC, obviously there are, you know, quote unquote storylines just on the the literal narrative that like Conor McGregor or
Right.
You can ask Jack how I feel about like rivalries in the UFC.
He doesn't like WWE because the rivalries aren't real.
Okay,
Yeah.
and like this
You want to tell me CM Punk and Kenny Omega are friends?
Right.
You want to tell me that
He bit the man.
You want to tell me that they staged Conor McGregor throwing a trolley through Khabib's bus and hurting like 3 people?
That's what I'm saying. Like there's definitely story in UFC, and I think both have their merit. I think it's easier to like recognize it in pro wrestling because you know
it's all about
there's so much more pageantry and there's so much more recognizable events. So yeah, no, I don't.
It's scary.
So here's a question for you.
Yeah.
I know you're not super up to date with AEW, but you know about the Swerve Hangman feud.
Yeah.
What's a bigger heat rivalry, like a pure heat, like blood feud? CM Punk and Drew McIntyre or Swerve and Hangman?
I think both are a little. Well, to answer the question just outright, I would probably say after Bad Blood, McIntyre and Punk.
You really?
I would still say
even
so.
After the match Swerve and Hangman had.
Yes, because here's what I'll say. I think AEW.
He stuck a syringe in his mouth.
And that's what I'm going for. I think AEW has a little bit more liberty and.
They can go extreme.
Yeah, exactly. They have a little bit more of that hardcore audience.
Right.
Whereas WWE, they're still catering to a family-sized audience. They're still, got to play it down. And the fact that they've been able to convey so much of a storyline. Exactly. Over a literal Taylor Swift era's bracelet.
My friend, we do rock and wrestling together. Mm-hmm. He tells me, hush up over there.
No, the name is like
it's a great name.
Great podcast.
I'm not shitting on it. The name is incredibly genius.
Great podcast.
But like as soon as like he said it to his teacher, like whoever like approves it, he just like there's like the biggest like sigh ever.
No, the whole room.
Rock and wrestling sounds like a great time. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's been a lot of fun.
I would tune in that just
We've only done one episode.
I mean, my show in college was called The 3 Count.
I like
That's
that.
great.
That's clever, actually.
That is a good one. I like that. Well, so the other day I said that Swerve and Hangman had a better feud, and he goes, McIntyre broke Punk's bracelet. And I said, Hangman burned down Swerve's house.
Right, yeah.
And I said, look at me again and tell me that was a straight face.
Yeah.
The bracelet.
No, that's so true, though.
Do you know they started selling the bracelets that girl made that said AJ and Larry on it?
Really?
Yeah, and then the girl that made it got mad on Twitter because she wanted royalties from it because she made it.
Fair.
So they switched it to CM Punk instead of AJ and Larry.
Dumb. Cash grab.
AJ was riled up on Twitter the other night. She wants to come back, it sounds like.
Oh.
I hope she does. She won't.
That'd be great. As long as they don't turn it into like an Edge Beth Phoenix thing where it kind of fizzled out. Like, I would want her to be back as like.
Right. Well, no, she was going after Liv on
cool.
Twitter. Would that be a fun match?
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
And Roxanne jumped in.
Oh, yeah.
And was like, wrestle me too.
Yeah.
I'd pay money to see that match.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be really good.
This has been very clear in this podcast. I am a huge Roxanne Perez fan.
Sure.
Massive, massive Roxanne Perez fan.
Security knows.
Thanks.
Security's keeping an eye on your
Security knows, yeah.
I don't know why
they're monitoring the podcast right now.
There's a picture of Jack like in the like security office, like him at like NXT, and they're like, "There's that kid right there. He'll be here for Charlie Barons. Keep your eyes out." They're like, "Listen to us right now."
Roxanne didn't wrestle, but she was there. Her and Cora were there.
Yeah.
And then Julia and Steph. How do you say her last name?
No idea.
But you know what I'm talking about. Mm-hmm. She's a big deal. Debuted.
Yeah.
And the place went nuts.
That's
I
awesome.
forgot that even happened.
In a small crowd like that, the reactions are so
and the
much
factory's
big.
so loud.
They're so bigger, yeah.
Just in general, it was awesome.
The factory's I'm not gonna lie. The factory's like great for concerts, but holy shit! At one point, you just have to sit there and just try and like collect your hearing.
It's loud.
It is
because
very
loud,
yeah.
I keep bragging on Sum 41. They were phenomenal, all right, but I couldn't hear straight the next day.
Yeah, it's pretty brutal.
And
they don't even have like explosions or anything in there.
Mm-hmm.
They
can't.
Sum 41 did.
They can't.
They weren't like big explosions, but like
they legally cannot do it.
They had sound effects in there, and they were like.
Well, I mean, I'm sure they're.
Well, they had confetti bombs.
Huh?
I'm sure they're like permits and things.
No, like they can't shoot pyro.
Oh well,
inside in St. Louis County. But you can do like confetti. Like you can't have explosions, but you can have.
Maybe they just pay the fine afterwards.
Well, Ice Nine Kills had a bunch of fire in their show
at the factory.
Yeah.
Oh, well, the security guard there told me they've never had fire there.
Well, to be fair, their whole thing was like horror songs based on like horror movies, and so I'm pretty sure they just said like fuck all, and like, oh, here's pyro for Hannibal Lecter, here's pyro for like Resident Evil. So
Jack, to be fair, they probably thought you were trying to sneak in explosives.
Yeah, probably. I give off that vibe.
He has explosives somewhere, boys. We might need to pull him aside at the detectors.
Right.
But what were we talking about before I went down there? Oh, Theory had, Theory has pyro, but not pyro. He just has that boom.
Sure.
They still had some. It sounded like just a drum though.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't. What is it? What is it that is it concussion pyro?
Yeah, it's just like it's a boom without the lights, without the
But you can see if you're behind the stage, you can see the fire, you can see the explosion.
Yeah, it's probably just like a really ramped up firecracker.
Okay. I don't like those.
I know. You don't like the loud noises?
No, I don't.
You startle easily, Jack.
I know I do. I jumped when the music came on.
Yeah, there was a girl. There was a girl sitting about 3 seats down from us at Raw, and it didn't even have to be pyro.
Yeah.
And really, the only pyro that was in the show was Cody's
and the opening.
Yeah. No opening pyro.
I'm glad they got rid of that.
There was no opening pyro.
That's unnecessarily loud.
I loved it.
I didn't.
I loved it.
You know, Batista has severe hearing damage from his entrance.
I can't imagine why. Literal machine gun level pyro happening around.
It would go on for like 10 seconds.
3 feet from his face. Yeah. No, this girl would jump anytime like even a wrestler's music hit. Like it would just like boom, it hit and she would like jump instantaneously. I'm like, oh, you poor soul.
Was it a kid?
Easily start. No, she was like 25.
Huh.
Should not have been easily startled.
I guess I'm not the only one.
No.
I'm just a jumpy person.
Yeah.
Like I'm just
What are you nervous about, Jack?
everything. No. No, I'm just
time.
jumpy. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just jumpy.
I get that.
I can't help it. I just jump. Green Day had no pyro.
Green Day didn't
What are you
need
talking
pyro.
about?
They didn't need pyro.
Well, they had fire, but they didn't have that concussion pyro.
Yeah, they did.
They did?
Yes. What are you
They're
talking
Green
about?
Day.
Of course.
Oh, I didn't know. So.
Or American Idiot.
They had pyro. They had concussion pyro.
Were you
on
there,
that?
Green Day?
Right at the beginning.
he was there.
Yeah.
I would sure hope so, you know.
Right at the
I
beginning.
don't remember that. I guess we were far enough back.
It was
though,
like
that-
na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na. Pow. They do it
Yeah,
every
because
show.
I kept looking back at you because you're like, I don't like loud noises. So every time I'd hear like a boom, I'd
Yeah.
be like, Jack, are you good?
And was I?
Yes, you were like,
They
I
do
don't
it-
like this band.
They do it a lot on
This
the
dude-
American Idiot album.
I
like
guess
when
I
they
was
do it live.
far enough. We were way in the back though.
This dude was begging to leave when the lightning started.
Oh, that was the best part.
No, when like the severe lightning started.
when
Right before Billy said we're done.
when Wake Me Up When September Ends started, the lightning in that song was carrying like the whole.
It was awesome.
Oh, it was,
great.
gorgeous.
And then
I
like
took a
behind me, there's
video.
Jack. Ben, can we leave? I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Well,
They're not done with American Idiot yet. Sit your ass down.
no. Don't act like I wanted to leave then. It was like an hour after that because Casey had been long gone. Casey left after holiday because he forgot to take the next day off work and had to be up at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Nerd.
Yeah. Well, he has to drive a truck for 14 hours.
Best concert show I ever spent money on.
Nerd.
Nerd.
That was fun. That was a really fun concert.
Great concert. Green Day's top band of all time.
They're up there, definitely.
For me,
I wouldn't say top band for me, but like punk wise, they're number one.
For me, they're number one just because of when I've seen them live. They've been so on. I saw them at the pageant.
It's not even like Billy's this amazing performer or anything, like stage presence.
He is. What are you talking about?
Well, we were far enough away. I couldn't really see him. All he does is jump, though. It's all he does.
But he controls a crowd so well.
He does.
I don't know. He lost half the crowd for a couple of things he did.
Yeah.
Like the state. Like
We don't need to go into that.
Well, we're not
going to
go into it, but like one of the things I can highlight that won't get us in trouble is when he tried to get that girl to like jump off of the stage. He was pushing her to do it.
And then afterwards, he came through and he was like,
Well, no,
hey,
he had to
good
say
on
okay.
you.
Say no.
Yeah, he was like, good on you for saying no and like,
Yeah.
good stuff.
I still think he wanted to save face and say that though a little bit too.
Oh, sure.
That kid was awesome, though.
Yeah,
She
can
was
you
great.
imagine being in front of 20,000 people?
She took the mic out of his hand and was just like,
And
took
Green
it.
Day's like, hey, jump off the stage. And you go, no, I'm okay.
Would you have done it?
Yes.
Hell yes.
Yes.
Wouldn't even think about
A million
that.
times, yes, I would have done it. Yes, of course.
There's some interesting people in the Green Day crowd.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no.
Anytime you go to Hollywood Casino Amphitheater, you're going to
It's
find
like
a
it's almost
pretty,
like the same people you see at wrestling.
pretty fun crowd. Yeah, they're
I got into a
lot-
fight at the amphitheater.
a lot of oh, really?
What?
Okay, so this was more like I wasn't like throwing hands, but I broke up a fight. I was at Imagine Dragons with my mom. Phenomenal concert.
Yeah.
But there was this older lady smoking weed next to a bunch of little kids.
Vibes.
And no, and the dad was looking at her and he was like, "Can you not blow weed, around my family?" So the girl takes the joint out of her mouth and blows it right on like a 5-year-old little kid.
Oh, that's not right.
And then next thing I know, the mom stands up and completely mollywops like the girl. And I'm looking at my mom like, do I do something about this or?
Good crowd. Good
Oh,
crowd
like
at the Hollywood
good
Casino.
energy. Good energy.
Right.
You ever been in a fight?
Don't ask me that question.
I've been in a hockey fight, and I've been.
Did you win?
There was no loser. It was like we scrapped for a couple seconds.
I don't think hockey fights count.
No,
I mean, you probably just like dap each other like, good fight, and then walk away.
I have punched one man in the face.
What did he do?
He was bugging this lady in a line for a bar back in Columbia.
Okay.
And she was like consistently telling him like, hey, please stop talking to me. And he just kept bugging her. We're all waiting in line trying to get into this place. And I said, hey, man.
Knock it off.
Yeah, she's asking you to not do that anymore. And he looked at me and he goes, what are you going to do about it? Like, it was genuinely like out of a 90s movie. He looked at me and he was like,
punch him?
Yeah, he was like, what are you going to do, hit me? And he kind of poked my chest. And I said, buddy, please. Like, we're just trying to get into this bar. We're fine.
Right.
And then he goes, oh, cool. And I said, please don't touch me again. And he poked me again. And just real quick, just like, I mean, super fast, just a little right-hand jab, just got him right in the jaw. Just right across the side of the face. And he immediately, like, stopped. And he was like, oh.
You could fight
He's
back.
actually going to punch me. Like, if I do
I
it again.
can't see,
Yeah.
I can't see you doing that.
Well, I mean, I'm never going to be violent towards somebody just to be violent.
Right. I figured you were defending somebody.
Yeah, it was very much so like
I've never had to, but I would do the same thing.
Like this guy was.
We know you would, Jack.
Yeah. This guy was bigger than me, like, but he wasn't like a giant. I was
Right.
like, this guy he's drunk, he's an idiot. And
Right. He just needed a reality
Yeah,
check.
and as soon as I got him, his buddies kind of grabbed him and they were like, hey, let's just go over there. And then they walked away.
Did he get that girl's number?
Believe it or not, no. Did not get the number. Did not get the digits.
That would have been like straight out of the 90s movie,
No,
you know?
but she was super grateful though afterwards. She was like, hey, thank you so much. You didn't need to do that.
Should buy you a drink?
No, God, no.
He's going to buy you a drink.
It was bottomless $5 Tuesday, so no.
What? Where at?
The piano bar,
Okay.
the Penguin.
I'm going down there this weekend.
Why aren't you going down in a couple weekends for homecoming?
I can't afford a hotel that weekend.
18, 19.
Loser.
You just go on to you go to a campsite. We're camping this year.
Oh.
It's gonna be cold.
Yeah, they're all going to Columbia. I am not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Columbia this
we're gonna
time of the
have a
year
good time.
is
I'm doing my thing.
wonderful. Are you going to the football game?
No, there's no football game this weekend.
Oh,
I'm just
away.
going to see my friend.
Nice.
She's been on the show a couple times. Morgan.
We miss
That'd be
her.
great.
Come back, Morgan. We love you.
Morgan's been
I
on-
don't love you, but we love you.
No, yeah.
She's been on a couple times.
Columbia's always a great time this time of year. MIZ. Tigers are going to be great.
No, they're not.
What happened?
You know, our loss, that whole week was weird.
Yeah.
In all of college football, all the good ranked teams lost, and I'm not saying we're a good ranked team. We've definitely skated by.
Yeah.
There's,
Lindenwood blew a 17-point lead
Well, yeah. Go D1.
to a team they were favored to win by 10.
Well, yeah,
Sure.
but you also got to remember Mizzou's chances to make like the playoffs.
Just
Yeah.
went
They're
way
gone
down.
now.
They're not
No,
gone. They're
no,
not,
no,
no, if Alabama can lose a game, they
Exactly,
can lose a game.
exactly. Vanderbilt.
But my problem is you guys,
Unranked Vanderbilt.
but you guys have to go to Bama, and that's never a favorable matchup, no matter who you're playing.
But we
Anything is
beat Vandy
possible.
in double OT. If we can hang with Vandy and then they just blew out Alabama,
Yeah, but you guys
Did they
also
blow 'em
lost
out?
to A&M by 31 points.
which is what I'm saying. And nobody came into this season saying we're going to go 12-0.
No.
I think a lot of people knew we were going to go 11-1, 10-2 maybe.
Yeah.
We've been talking about it for the last 3 years. When we went to a 12-team playoff, our odds became so good.
Yeah.
I think everybody knew coming into it was going to be an 11-1 season, but they thought that loss was going to either be to Bama or they thought it was going to be
Oklahoma.
Not to A&M.
Oklahoma, not to A&M.
They haven't been good since Johnny Football was there.
Well,
Right.
I mean, A&M's always been that like hit or miss team. Like they'll blow out like number 3 Georgia,
Right.
And then they'll get like shit on by like Vandy because they actually did lose to Vandy one season, and it was like they came off like this big win, and then Vanderbilt's just like, hey, how you doing?
So we'll see where it goes. I think the Tigers are fine. I think we're
Brady
gonna be okay.
Cook got a reality check.
You know, he does.
But I think that's
So
needed.
did Luther Burden, though. I mean, he was held to like what 50 receiving yards the whole game.
I think that's the kind of loss and the kind of check that we needed. So I think they're going to be fine. I think we're going to walk in the next 2 matchups. We got who do we have this next week?
UMass.
Yeah,
I have no
UMass.
idea.
That's like if you lose that game, there is no coming back.
Yeah, we got
from that.
UMass, Auburn, and then Bama. I think all 3 of those games perfectly
Auburn
winnable.
could be tough.
I don't know. I think Auburn.
Auburn is not the same since
No.
Superman left.
Yeah, they got walked.
Superman?
By
Cam Newton.
Oh.
yeah, they got walked a couple. I think last week too. So
Well,
I'm
But
not worried.
it was Auburn and Alabama with that kick 6, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
So I'm gonna toss this to you for like 2 seconds.
Sure.
You know college ball, it seems.
Yeah.
Give me like your top 4 seeds going. So like if there's no 12-team playoffs, it's like top 4 seeds.
Yeah.
who do you think at the end of the year, realistically, will be those top 4 seeds? Like, and do you see Georgia being anywhere near the top 4?
Yeah.
Alabama, Georgia.
Bama's not going to be in there, I don't think. I think Texas.
Texas is like the clear number 1.
Yeah, Texas sticks in there. I think Georgia's somewhere in there. I just don't know.
Ohio State has to be either 1 or 2.
Yeah, Ohio State's probably 2. So probably Texas, Ohio State.
What about Michigan? Are they good this year?
I wish.
Yeah,
I love Michigan, with all my heart.
Blue. They're not big blue.
Well,
like
they're my big blue,
Mr.
but
Harbaugh left.
Well,
right.
They'd be fine if we had a quarterback, and then Orgy got hurt, and so
right.
now we're running with like some dude named Mullings, I think, and he's not that good.
I mean, honestly, if there was like a Super Bowl, if there was a like a Cinderella happy ending story, I can see Vanderbilt squeaking their way in.
Are they ranked now?
Nope, they're not ranked.
Still not ranked.
Well, they have 2 losses.
They're still not ranked after beating Alabama?
Yeah.
They had 2 losses going.
How far did Alabama drop? They were 1 before.
5 ranked. They dropped like 5.
Mm-hmm.
They're 6 now.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, like
Who dropped 12?
I like Oregon. Well, also you got to remember. So this is like you can pencil this down and fact check me, like bitch slap me or whatever. I got Penn State at 4 because
I can see it.
Because Ohio State and Oregon play this weekend, and then whoever loses that game drops, and Penn State's at 4. Penn State does not. I don't think plays Ohio State.
No,
they play Oregon.
Right.
If they beat Oregon, then they're going to stay at that 3 spot until the season's over.
It's going to be a very fun end of the year. I think the 12-team playoff is going to be awesome.
It's going to be fun, but also Ashton Genty for Heisman.
There you go.
I don't follow college
Boise
football.
State has like, so you know how running backs like kneel like on their knees before like a play snaps, Jack?
Mm-hmm.
What?
Like how running backs, when they get set, they're literally like leaning over. Yeah, Ashton Genty stands up.
Oh.
Like just stands up, stares at the defense, and then he has like 16 touchdowns in 5 games.
Jesus.
Awesome. It's sweet.
We'll end on this one, Drew. Last question for you.
Mm-hmm.
In Mizzou, in the Columbia area, other than Harpo's, best bar to go to on a weekend?
Your mom.
Now the Penguins open back up. Piano bar for sure.
That's the one to go to?
It's right next to Fieldhouse.
Okay.
So right next to Willie's.
I don't know. I've only been to Harpo. I've been to the Mexican place.
Which one?
I don't know.
Las Margs.
Yeah.
Las Margs.
Yeah. Oh no. You're probably thinking if it's on Broadway, you're probably thinking about El Rancho.
No, it was Margs.
El Rancho's a place.
Yeah.
The ones that
it's like the place you went after a night at the bar.
You can get margaritas like that
there.
big.
It was great.
They got they're large margaritas about.
Yeah, so probably Las Margs.
Yeah. There's not much tequila in them though.
Yeah.
At least the one I got, I was expecting to be hammered off one that big, and I wasn't.
Another sign on the wall that says "Do not serve this man."
I mean, my happiness.
No, that was at Harpo's when I threw up in the bathroom.
Oh,
my happiness came at Chimmy's. So my birthday was like a week ago or something, 2 weeks ago.
Know.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago. We went to Chimmy's in Wentzville, and my mom looks at the waiter and says, "It's his birthday." So they put a sombrero on my head, and the waiter gives me a gun full of tequila.
Oh wow!
Oh, how about that?
It's a bold move.
I know, and I was like,
in this economy.
I didn't know about this.
I didn't tell no one about this because.
Yeah.
Something, but you know what? I was like, hey, I got a gun made of tequila or something. Hey.
That's hilarious.
Dude, go to Shimmy's and just say it's your birthday. They don't fact, they don't do nothing. They got too much tequila to get rid of, you know?
As we start to wind down here, Drew, you got anything you want to plug or anything going on?
No, man. Things are good right now. Just
staying busy.
Yeah, always being busy. Hockey season's about to start up, so
Did start up.
our
His hockey
yeah,
season.
like our
is
beer
doing-
league,
like the Blues. I was
our
like,
beer
oh,
league,
did you miss the
last
game
time I
last
was
night?
on, we were gearing up to go to Toronto. We went
Yeah.
to Toronto. We had won our championship just prior.
Oh,
so,
yeah, that was before Toronto.
yeah.
Congrats,
so,
by the way.
Thank you. Toronto's awesome. Came home, finished a little short. So this year we're looking to do it more. Yeah.
Austin told me about the Airbnb you guys stayed in.
Yeah, it was awesome. Got shut down. It was run by this like pair of Ukrainian brothers.
Oh.
And it got shut down because there's some ordinance, I guess, in Canada that you can't use a property like the way you can here for Airbnbs and Verbos or something like that. I mean, it was a luxurious place.
I saw the pictures.
But it was strange. It was a very unique property. Like, too many details to go into, but like,
That's for next time.
20 different rooms with like little weird sinks in the corner and like a shower just pushed
You know what?
away.
We'll get you back on the pod just so you can talk about
Yeah,
the
just that
Airbnb.
story. Yeah. That's a good lead in for next time.
Well, Drew, thank you for coming on. Next week, we should have some fun stuff coming up. We might have a different upload schedule. If you made it this far, you'll know. Our upload schedule, depending on, we're at the mercy of our guests right now with their times and all that. So we may have a very different time slot next week. We have a different slot today. We usually record on Tuesdays. It's
Well,
Wednesday.
You was at NXT,
NXT
last
and
night.
Emily was sick. And
Oh, that was just like the worst, you know?
But yeah, check out other stuff. Chip Carey's just on, Scott Rizzuto. We got stuff with Learn. We got stuff with all kinds of cool people, all kinds of fun stuff. Check us out. Check me out on Rockin' Wrestling Thursdays at 4 on the Tower Station. Ben?
Any PSAs you want to give out before I do a PSA?
Oh, God.
No, I'm just not a bad PSA.
I don't know what he's got. This is what?
I can officially say I have 2 concerts left on the year. 2 whole concerts.
They went to so many concerts.
Yeah, so I'm just going to run through some for him. Stevie Nicks, Billy Joel and Sting, Def Leppard, Imagine Dragons, Green Day, Rob Zombie, Willie Nelson, Sum 41, Ailstorm. So the 2 left is 21 Pilots, which is tomorrow. And then one of my all-time favorite bands we're going to Illinois is Iron Maiden.
Love that. That's an awesome
lineup.
You know, fun.
I put a bunch of money aside just for Iron Maiden. You know, that's like I put like too much money aside for it.
Right.
But I had to make sure I had every access point covered.
Well, Drew, thanks for coming on today. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, man. Always a blast.
We'll have you again sometime. Thanks for coming on.
Don't scare me next time.
Yeah. You got it.
We'll play that game again with harder questions.
Oh, God. I'll be even more terrified. I'll be sitting there like, ugh.
Wait till I throw like Sammy Guevara in there.
Yeah, no, it won't be the same results.
Well, thanks for coming on, Drew. We had a lot of fun. Tune in next week for some fun stuff. Check out our old stuff. Good night, everybody.